Let's take a look at inserting and deleting multiple columns or rows. Now, just in general, I'm gonna show this first by using the mouse. So if I highlight column B, for example. Now let's say I want to insert something here. I can right click on B and choose insert, and I'll insert that over. Now, if I simply click inside the cell here and right click and choose insert, it'll want to insert. It'll want to insert where that cell is. That's why I selected the entire column. Okay, so let me do a Control Z, put it back the way it was. Let's say I want to put 2 columns there. So I'll highlight B. I click with my left mouse button. I'm holding down, and I drag it over to C. Now if I right click on that and choose insert, you now see I have 2 columns there. So that's a basic idea on that. Let me do a Control Z. For the row, I want to insert a row here. So by the way, you don't have to select it first. I mean, if I just right click on 6, it'll select it and choose insert, it'll insert a row there. Do Control Z. If I left mouse click on 6 and drag down to 7, I got 2 rows selected. Now if I right click and choose insert, it'll insert 2 rows. So let me do Control Z to undo that. Now to delete, and I didn't really mention that, but let me right click here and insert. If I want to delete these, same principle, you can right click on one of them and choose delete. If you right click in the cell and choose delete, again it'll think you just want to apply it to the cell, so you have to apply it to the rows or column titles. And if I highlight both those and right click and choose delete, and I'll get rid of both of them. Now, say I have this selected. Up in the home, there's a cells option. If I choose the insert, you see there's different options here. I can insert sheet columns. If I click that, that'll shift it over. Click it again, click it again. Now, when you click the top, it does the last action. But if you do the bottom, that's where it pops up with this. If, on the other hand, I want to delete that, just like when we were doing with the mouse, if you click and drag over, selecting all 3 of those. Now if I come up delete, I'll do the drop down here, and I'm going to choose delete sheet columns. Then that'll delete that. Some people like the buttons because it is pretty easy when you do it that way. Now let me look at the exam tips they give here. It says insert 2 rows above a certain row. So if I want to insert 2 rows above the 5th row, this one right here, I'll select those 2 and I'll right click and choose insert, and that puts two rows above it. Delete 3 columns at once. Well, if I have these 3 highlighted here, right click and choose delete, I'll get rid of them. Probably if I just press my delete key, Control Z, then we press my delete key. Delete key also gets rid of them. It says use home, insert to delete. Well, we did that. That's the buttons up here. That's under the cells group. And I always recommend select the exact number of rows or columns before inserting and deleting. And we've seen that. If you select 1, it'll insert 1 or delete 1. If you select 2, it'll insert 2 or delete 2. But that's how you would go about inserting and deleting multiple columns or rows.